All right, let's talk about what it really takes to pull off an amazing event. Today, we're going to walk through the partnership journey with the Salil Hotels. And I want you to think of this less like a set of rules and more like a roadmap for working together to create something special. So, let's get into it. This quote you're seeing, it's not just some corporate mission statement. It's the promise that underpins everything we're about to discuss. It's all about building a real, professional relationship built on trust, total clarity, and, a shared goal of making your event absolutely top-notch.
So, first up is the Salil Partnership Promise. This whole first stage is about one thing: commitment. It's the hotel basically saying, hey, we're not just a venue. We are your partner, and we're committed to making your vision a reality.
You can't build a great house on a shaky foundation, right? It's the exact same thing with an event. Success starts with getting those first few steps absolutely perfect. So let's look at how that solid foundation gets built, from that first spark of an idea all the way to a confirmed booking.
It all starts out pretty simply, with an inquiry and a consultation. This is where you just talk and explore what's possible. From there, you get a tailored proposal. And I mean tailored. This isn't some cookie-cutter package. It's built for you. That leads to the contract, and finally, the booking confirmation that locks it all in. Every step is designed so there are absolutely no surprises later on.
Now, all of this gets formalized in what's called the Banquet Event Agreement. And I know, the word contract can sound a little intense, but it's better to think of this as the blueprint for your event's success. Its whole purpose is to make sure everything is crystal clear. It protects you, it protects the hotel, and it gets everyone on the exact same page.
And that deposit, it's so much more than just a transaction. It's the official starting pistol for the partnership. This is that moment where your date is saved just for you, and the hotel's team really starts to dedicate their time and their brainpower completely to your event.
Okay, so the foundation is set, the paperwork is done. Now we get to the really fun part, the creative stage. This is where we move from blueprint to reality, and your vision really starts to take shape through a super collaborative planning process.
For a partnership to work, everyone needs to know their part, right? And this is how it breaks down. Your role is to be the visionary. You finalize the concept, you make the big calls on things like the menu, and you handle your guests. The Salil's role? They bring the how-to, the expert advice, the logistical heavy lifting, and all the coordination to make your vision happen flawlessly. It's a perfect blend.
To make sure nothing falls through the cracks, it helps to look at this timeline. But let's work backwards from event day. As soon as you book, you get your own banquet manager. A few weeks out, you'll do a site visit to walk through the logistics. But look at this one, 7 days before. This is the big one. It's the absolute final deadline for menu choices and any dietary needs. That gives the kitchen the time it needs to prepare everything to perfection.
Which brings us to, let's be honest, the million-dollar question for anyone planning an event. After all that work, all that planning, how can you really be sure that the day itself is going to go off without a hitch? Well, the answer isn't magic. It's just really, really good preparation. Before your event even starts, there's a full briefing with every single team, from the chefs to the front desk. You get a dedicated person who is your go-to for the entire event. And behind the scenes, there are these quiet, constant quality checks happening to make sure the service, the atmosphere, everything is perfect.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. Life happens. Even with the world's best plan, something unexpected can pop up. This is probably the biggest source of anxiety for any organizer. So what's the game plan when something goes sideways? The answer comes down to one powerful word: empowerment. The team on the ground isn't just there to spot problems and radio for help. They are trained and authorized to solve problems right then and there. And if it's a bigger issue, they have a direct line to senior management. This means issues get squashed before they even have a chance to grow. You might think the job is done once the last guest heads home, but a great partnership doesn't just end. A professional, clear wrap-up is just as much a part of the service as the event itself. It's about finishing strong. So the post-event process is pretty straightforward. First, they reach out for your feedback within 24 hours, while it's all still fresh in your head. Next, you get a final, totally transparent bill. And last, their team has their own internal meeting to talk about what went well and what could be even better next time. It's all about constant improvement.
So we've walked through the whole process, the how of it all. But now let's talk about the what. What is it that really makes this kind of partnership different? What are those signature touches that take an event from just great to wow, that was unforgettable?
It really comes down to these things here. It's about bespoke brand storytelling, not just using a room, but weaving your theme and story right into the hotel spaces.
It's about giving your VIPs an incredible, personalized experience. And it's about being responsible, with eco-friendly options like digital menus or sourcing food locally.
When you step back and look at this whole journey, it's clear it's about more than just booking a venue. It's about finding a true partner, someone who's dedicated to a clear, supportive process with one single goal: turning your vision into a perfect, memorable experience. So the only question left is, are you ready to create that unforgettable event together?